What is up, friends? My name is Laura. If you've never visited my YouTube channel before, welcome. Today I'm actually going to be talking to you about Mount Everest. Where's Mount Everest? It is actually over in the Himalayas and is the tallest mountain in the entire, Earth. This mountain is incredibly tall. Of course, there aren't a crazy amount of mounts that are over 8,000 meters, but Mount Everest stands above them all. If you don't know, I have actually done Aconcagua, tallest peak in South America, Kilimanjaro, tallest peak in Africa, part of the 7 summits of the world. I was actually supposed to do the tallest peak in Europe, but that was located in Russia, so we were actually going to wait a little bit of time before doing that. So maybe next year, but fingers crossed. If you haven't also, subscribe to my channel because I'm gonna record all of these videos. But along this series and kind of doing these summits of the world, so many people ask me, are you going to be doing Mount Everest? Which is such a valid question, especially since I'm doing these different summits. Denali also probably is on my list, but I'm actually here to tell you maybe a little bit more information. This is gonna go into one of my reasons why I'm not going to do it. But at this moment, I do actually not want to do it. Let's start. Here's why. So number one is actually going to be the cost. So if you don't know, the actual permit for the mountain is $13,000. That's only the permit. That is not actually including any of the porters, the guides, the gear, anything like that. Of course, you are going to be paying for that kind of stuff. A lot of those kind of gear I have accumulated over the years from doing these other hikes. However, I don't have a lot of it for an 8,000 meter peak, and I do not have the permit. So you're actually looking at spending upwards of $70,000 for just your normal run-of-the-mill guide to get to the top of Everest. So I actually was at a wedding a couple of months ago, and someone was talking to me about mountaineering, and they said, okay, hypothetical question, I give you a check for $70,000. And I say, I really want you to go and climb Mount Everest. Do you go and do it? And do you know what I said? I said, yeah, I think I would. And he said, okay, so it is about the money. So then I continued and I got the rest of the buffet and I was eating my dinner and I still kind of had it on my mind, honestly. And we were all having a great time and I still was thinking about it, and I was like, no, it's not about the money. That is part of it. I think you could do some wonderful things in the world with $70,000, but I was thinking, it's not that. So I think I would chat with them perhaps about the $70,000, but I would say if that's your goal for that $70,000. So I actually went and found him on the dance floor and I said, hey, you asked me this. I don't think that I would accept your $70,000 because I don't think there are other things that I wouldn't like about the mountain. I'm gonna get into those. And then I told him those stories and he was like, I'm glad we had this conversation. I knew none of those things. So it was just very funny. But number one would be the cost. Although I love that it's so many people's bucket list, my two would actually be the reasoning for doing this hike. And yes, I definitely, if that's your goal and you are raising money to go do it, if you're training to go do it, I would love to buy you a beer when you are back over this side of the world and ask you about it. Absolutely, nothing against it. But also for me, a lot of people honestly haven't even used crampons. They haven't done those crazy hikes that will actually prepare them. So to me, if you are roped with someone in a group, you're really causing yourself to be in a dangerous situation because you are suddenly not kind of roped to someone that might be able to do a correct self-arrest, any of those kind of things. So you're kind of surrounded by people that really their goal is just to climb the highest mountain in the world, opposed to something more of a life goal. Third reason is there's actually not a summit window. Many people know that some years there actually has not been a single summit window, and then some years there is only a couple. And during these couple, that means that it gets super crowded on the mountain. So that's why you see those crazy pictures of people back to back trying to get to that summit. That's because there's very few summit windows. So I know myself, the very first time I went to go do Aconcagua, I did not get a summit window, which was heartbreaking, and I don't feel like spending that money to not get one. So that's That's my third reason. The next reason is that it actually takes a lot of time, and I'm sure most people actually assume this, but it actually takes around 3 months to go from the start to the top. And of course that does like factor in a weather window, but by the time you actually fly all the way over there from whatever country you're in, I'm from the United States over here, and you're going over there, you're actually starting, and the whole way, you know, you need to be acclimatizing, so you're actually going to be going a lot like this all the way up, so your body doesn't, you know, get very scared of the lack of oxygen. And so that actually can take a really long time. So for me, I don't know, I just don't feel like being up a mountain and peeing in a bottle or peeing out a tent for 3 months straight. So the final reason actually going to be because like knowing your body, so I'll get into that. But for me personally, I actually do very, very well with high altitude. I don't know if it's genetic, anything like that, but I've never really had a very big issue going up to 23,000. Obviously don't feel like perfect, but I have been up that high and many 20,000s. So for me, I do well with that. One thing that I don't do very well with is circulation for days on end. So once the sun goes down, I'm gonna be really cold. So of course that's gonna be a lot of your gear. But even for like my 23,000, which is not quite 7,000 meters, my hands, I can like barely feel them. So I'm having to go like this and warm them up basically throughout the entire evening. So I do worry for like an 8,000 meter peak that I actually will get frostbite on my toes. I've just never been able to keep like warm in my toes and my fingers. And I'm sure this is normal, but I don't feel like losing one of those. So that's kind of one of my reasons too. I know that's actually common for people that don't have that issue. So that's always kind of been on my mind as well, whether that is Everest or that's Denali. Any of these shock you? Were they, oh my gosh, I did not know about that with Mount Everest. If they did, I would love for you to tell me if Mount Everest is on your list, or after hearing this, is that something you still love to do? I would love to know. Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you very, very soon. Thank you so much for listening. Keep living life. Bye.